Hi, I'm Reverend Kim James. I'm the pastor of First United Methodist Church in Ogden. I'm also the leader of the Interfaith Works organization, which includes many different faiths and churches and different religious organizations, as well as many charitable organizations and community service projects and government agencies that help people in a variety of different ways. At our April meeting, we were very happy to have Rob Luckow with us, who made a presentation to us about the Department of Workforce Services. As religious leaders and community activists, we encounter many people who have needs of a variety of types, and it's helpful to know that the Department of Workforce Services is such a big umbrella that covers many different areas of need. And so we want to share this good news with all of you.
Well, thank you, Kim, for such a lovely introduction. I do appreciate that. My name is Rob Luckow, and I am with Department of Workforce Services. I'm community liaison for the Ogden office, and I represent all of Weber County. And I really am the go-to for this office and for Weber County for any questions about workforce services, what we do, what we offer, and how to access it. And what we're going to talk about today is just a brief overview of what we have to offer as a department. Department of Workforce Services, right there, as you can see underneath the subheading Programs and Services, is our mission statement. We strengthen Utah's communities by supporting the economic stability and quality of our workforce. We support employers and employees alike. We help employers find good quality staff members. But before they become good quality staff members, we do believe that we have to increase the economic stability of the people we serve. Once we get to that point where their economic stability is improved, increased, then we can start working on them become quality employees for employers in Utah. And over here on the right side is a number of the tools we use to do that. And I'm going to give a brief overview of all of these. Of course, my contact information will be at the end. So if you have any further questions about it, certainly make note of my contact information, and please feel free to give me a call or an email. We're going to begin with SNAP, Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. It used to be called Food Stamps, but it is now SNAP. Now, benefits for SNAP start the day of application. It can take sometimes over 30 days to approve an application, but if that's the case, benefits will go back to the very day a person applied. Sometimes a person can receive expedited service, depending on how they answer certain questions when they place that application. And if they do receive expedited service, that means they can receive a benefits card and benefits on that card within 7 calendar days. Now, there are typically work requirements attached to SNAP benefits. Any able-bodied adult without dependents can receive SNAP benefits for 3 months out of a 12-month period. Usually after that 3-month period, work requirements kick in. Usually that can be actual employment, or it can be job searching. And if it's job searching, then they'll have to report their job searches using their My Job Search account that is on our website. SNAP-Ed is a great tool that's brought to us by Utah State University. It's an educational program for people who receive SNAP benefits to get the biggest bang for their buck out of the SNAP benefits. That program shows people how to shop better using their SNAP benefits and also cook and eat better using their SNAP benefits. And many people don't know that, of course, you can actually double your money at farmers market. So if you're a SNAP recipient, you could register your card at a booth, a particular booth at a farmers market, and receive tokens to use that increase your SNAP benefit on the day. The Financial Assistance Program is something we're quite fortunate to have. There are two programs. We have the Family Employment Program, which is for single and two-parent households. Now, with these financial programs, well, Family Employment Program in particular, there are work requirements attached. A participant or two-parent household participants will be expected to participate up to 40 hours per week if physically and mentally able. Now, there can be training involved in the work requirement. So perhaps someone needs to finish a high school diploma, or they want to get into a nursing program. Those hours can also count towards the work requirements. And while participating in work requirements, those parents can receive childcare assistance, thereby making them more successful through the program. We also offer general assistance. General assistance is for single or married adults without children. And typically they have to be determined unable to work for either 6 or 12 months. 6 months being the short-term track, 12 months being the long-term track. A medical note or a statement from your doctor, one's doctor, is what's used to determine whether or not they're able to work for a certain period of time. And if they are receiving general assistance for 6 or 12 months, they can also receive Social Security benefits. Well, they can receive help in applying for Social Security benefits. This little chart at the bottom, I like pointing this out. It shows all the states that do or don't have a general assistance program, financial assistance for single or married adults without children. Utah, in yellow there, is one of the few that has a program for those who are deemed unemployable. So I think that's quite a benefit for Utah. Moving on we're going into Career and Education Services. This is the program that I represent. Career and Education Services, we offer funding for short-term training programs. We can offer up to $6,000 that can be used to pay for short-term training programs. Short-term to us means 6 to 24 months. Now we can help with vocational programs or even academic programs as long as a person in an academic program is in the final 2 years of, say, a 4-year degree, and they may need additional funding for that final 2 years. We have a special program for foster youth. The acronym is ETV. It stands for Employment and Training Voucher. Now, the funding for foster youth is about $5,000, and they can use that every year for training programs as well up until the age of 26. In all cases, for adults, youth, or foster youth, the funding does pay for tuition, books, and supplies. It can also help pay for internships and on-the-job trainings that can be set up. Medical assistance is quite a large and varied program. Like a lot of what we offer, it is income-based, but we have medical assistance for families and pregnant women and children. Undoubtedly, you've heard of the CHIP, Children's Health Insurance Program, people with disabilities, the elderly, adults, of course. Now that we have expanded Medicaid, we can also offer Medicaid to single adults, and of course, refugees and non-citizens. Unemployment insurance, also now under our umbrella. Now, typically before the pandemic, unemployment insurance would go up to 27 weeks, would max out at 27 weeks. Now, because of the virus and because of all the stimulus acts that have passed, now there are added benefits and extensions to unemployment. But typically, before COVID and most likely after COVID, once we have a grip on it, it'll probably return to what you're seeing here, a program that lasts up to 27 weeks. There are work search requirements. Even with COVID, there still are work search requirements. A person still must make and report 4 new job search contacts per week. Now, typically to qualify for unemployment, a person has to be terminated or laid off. And because of the virus, there is a new program that will probably last as long as we have the virus. And the acronym you're seeing there, PUA, stands for Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. Now, in the past, before COVID, when we just had standard unemployment, a person who worked a short period of time or a self-employed person could not receive unemployment if anything affected their jobs. But now, because of the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, which has been enacted a year ago now, a self-employed person and a person who has worked for a rather short period of time and has lost their job because of the virus can receive unemployment benefits as well. Vocational rehabilitation is next. Now, vocational rehabilitation is essentially its own division, though they do work hand in hand with us, and they specialize in working with adults with disabilities, retraining if necessary, and of course, providing employment assistance. And those services can be used concurrently with workforce services. So let's say, for example, if a person is receiving training assistance through Voc Rehab, but they need additional funding, they can apply for the training program through workforce services, that additional $6,000 that can be applied to the assistance they're already receiving from vocational rehabilitation. Now we're going into the extra bits now. There's a lot that we do, there's a lot that we offer, and workforce development is a pretty big one. Workforce services is broken up into workforce development divisions. Right now, I work, being in Ogden, Weber County, I'm part of Wasatch Front North. There's Wasatch Front South, and heading all the way down throughout the state. They all have their different divisions. And each division has its own workforce development specialist, and that person is responsible for developing relationships with employers, making sure employers understand how to use our services, how to set up internships, how to set up apprenticeships, as well as on-the-job trainings, so that that workforce development specialist can work with our training coordinators in finding people who've just completed programs, perhaps, who may want to seek opportunities with proper companies. Refugees, we have a whole group of people, a whole team of people whose job it is to work with refugees. Refugees, when they come to the country for 8 months, they can receive medical benefits and financial assistance, as well as case management, as they hopefully better assimilate to the culture and obtain employment. Veterans, all of our offices have a veterans specialist, a veterans outreach specialist, and a veteran who specializes in working with disabled veterans. And that person can also provide training and employment assistance. Housing and community development, also recently under our umbrella, it's going to be their responsibility to increase housing opportunities and address homeless issues. Housing opportunities for homeless people, of course, and those who are economically unstable. And of course, we're going to have a homeless coordinator who's going to work statewide on addressing all of these cities and municipalities' homeless needs. Childcare is a separate program on its own. As I mentioned earlier, and when receiving the Family Employment Program assistance, as long as they're participating in work requirements, can receive childcare. But also anyone who's working at least 15 hours per week can also apply for childcare. Even if it's a 2-parent household, as long as each parent is working at least 15 hours per week and most likely working at the same time, they can certainly apply for childcare assistance as well. Job seekers with criminal backgrounds, that's something that I do specialize in. This is something I really have a passion for and try to help out as much as possible with. There are programs we have that we can offer job seekers with backgrounds. Bonding is one. It's an insurance policy essentially that DWS pays for 6 months that protects the employer against most liabilities that the employer feels the need to have that policy. Also, the work opportunity tax credit is something that we can assist employers understanding with as well. But when it comes to the job seekers themselves, we do help them understand, of course, to how to better present, how to focus on their professionalism, and of course, how to control that message during job interviews about their backgrounds. Now, when one comes into any office in workforce services, they're going to be encountered by our connections team. It's the people that run our lobby and computer areas. Right when you walk in the door, you'll see them first. Now, everything that we have on offer, you can access online on jobs.utah.gov. But if you wanted to come in and talk to someone, fill out a paper application, we have a connection team in every office just for that. And those people are trained, as you can read here, to help with resumes. They can help shape up a resume, give you mock interviews if you need some practice before going in for a particular interview, job search assistance, and of course, employment assistance. And what I mean by employment assistance is we offer funding for people who have just started employment. Maybe they got a job, a verifiable job, because they would have to verify that they have a job starting quite soon, but maybe they need transportation or tools to be able to work in that job successfully up until they get their first, second paycheck, where they're able to do it on their own. They can come and speak with any one of our connection team members and provide that verification of the job, as well as what they may need to be successful on that job just starting, and receive that assistance as well. The eligibility phone number. Now, eligibility, they are the people that approve and deny our SNAP cases, medical cases, and financial assistance programs. They also work the cases. They're really the experts in all of the policy and procedure it takes for someone to be approved for SNAP and medical and financial. That is their phone number there. Now, typically, it's a phone number that anyone receiving benefits will call to receive information about their benefits. But keep in mind, the connection team I mentioned earlier, if you go into one of our offices, the connection team members can also look up cases as well and give you a good idea of the recent mail, as well as the recent notes on your case, so they can tell you as well where it may stand. And quite a popular number at the moment, unfortunately, is our unemployment number. And so certainly if you have any questions about your unemployment, then of course you can call that number as you see it there. But also our connection team is also able to help answer questions as well, as I am, about unemployment and how one might qualify and what the application process would be like. And finally, this is my contact information. Again, should you have any further questions after viewing this video, I will be happy to take your calls and respond to your emails. Now keep in mind, everything I mentioned is available on our website, as you see there, jobs.utah.gov, but feel free to give me a call or feel free to come into one of the offices and have a word with any of the connection team members. I had a question about accessing our services, whether or not it's better to come in person to speak with someone or make a phone call. Because unfortunately, if you do make a call to, say, eligibility or even employment, there will be a wait time. Sometimes the best advice in those situations is to call first thing in the morning. Those eligibility, unemployment, they open up about 8 a.m. in the morning, and it's best to try and get on the phone right away. You probably experienced the shortest wait time in that situation. But really, if you just have general questions about your unemployment benefits, or even about any other benefits you may be receiving, I do recommend coming in, because our connection team members who work right there in the lobbies of every office as you walk in would be able to look up your eligibility case, your SNAP case, or medical, or even financial, and just give you an idea of where it stands. They can help you access your unemployment account online as well. A lot of people seem to, or it can be quite common, I should say, when someone's receiving unemployment benefits, to not look at their electronic notices on their account. it's easy to pass by. And so we can help point those out to you and even help you understand some of those notices, because a lot of it can be written in a language, rather official language, that can be a bit confusing at times, but luckily we're pretty familiar with it. We can help interpret if needed. But keep in mind, if you come in to speak with one of the connection team members about a benefits case or about an unemployment case, they are not decision makers. They'll be happy, of course, to help you understand what's happening with your case, what you may need to do next in the approval process. But if you do need to speak with someone who can make a decision, can open a case or close a case or expedite a case because you've turned something in, then you would definitely have to make a call to the eligibility or unemployment department and be on that wait, I'm afraid. So the question was, if a person lost their job, is there an order of importance of what one should do immediately upon losing that job? And I would say, number one, have a self-assessment. Take a self-assessment, get an idea of what your savings is. If a lot of people don't have the savings, but if you have one, get an idea of what that is, how far that can go, matched up to whatever bills that you may have. See what can be cut, see what you can stretch out, and see what will hopefully be able to work for you. The second is, I do strongly recommend to apply for SNAP benefits, food stamp benefits. Having food assistance in a time like that is rather crucial. And it's very easy to find yourself, well, with food insecurity, as it's called, quite quickly in situations like that. So don't let too much time lapse before you apply for SNAP benefits. Definitely apply for unemployment benefits. Now, unemployment is, you primarily apply online for that. And I do recommend coming into an office and receiving that one-on-one help to make that first application for unemployment benefits, so that you can make sure you go through that process accurately and as quickly as possible. There'll be job search requirements, of course, and the people that you work with in the office with unemployment can also help you shape up or even create a new resume which you'll need for future jobs. They'll also be able to give you mock interviews as well, just to help you prepare if it's been too long or quite a while since you've interviewed, so that if you do lose a job, you will have support, at least in food, and hopefully financial assistance through unemployment, and of course, just assistance in that job search and obtaining that new job directly from DWS staff. If you are in an unemployed situation, or if you're finding your income is rather suppressed, even with unemployment benefits, because again, sometimes even with unemployment, you're not going to be earning as much as what you're probably used to earning. And internet can be expensive, of course. So if there are things that need to be cut, maybe that's one of them. Maybe getting to a library to use the internet there can be hard. Maybe you don't have a membership to the library. Keep in mind that Workforce Services, we do have computers that you can use for free. You can use these computers for free for your job searching, accessing all of your cases, preparing for a job search, researching for job search. And of course, as long as you are printing because of your job search, say for example, you want to print off applications, or if you want to print off your resume for upcoming interviews, or just have your resume reviewed by us or other people, that is something you can do for free as well. So the computer access is free, and the printing is for free as well. And when it comes to transportation, there is a work program. As long as you're participating in the food stamp work requirements, you can receive $50 per month while for 3 months while you're participating in that food stamp work requirement that I mentioned earlier.
And that would be for bus passes or?
Well, we call it work requirement. Well, I guess it's the $50, we call it a work expense. And so it's $50 that can be used for anything that you deem to be a work expense, which could be transportation, or it could be interview clothing, or maybe some type of new equipment or tool that you might need for a newly obtained job. You've not worked for a long time, and you feel that you may need, well, more than a polish on your job interviewing skills. We do have coaching. Any one of us in any office, especially on our connections team, can organize mock interviews for you. We'll give these mock interviews to you as often as you like, and we'll ask you questions, a lot of common questions that are asked during interviews, but we'll also ask questions that have to do with that particular job for which you're applying. And then after you answer each question, we will give you direct feedback on how it came across and what, if anything, you could possibly do better in the future. We also offer, of course, resume critiquing as well. Now we have a resume writing program that of course is free to use, but we do recommend sitting down with one of our connection staff members and getting a really good idea of what a resume should look like. And we can give you that information in droves. We have free booklets and manuals that we give out to the general public that is full of fantastic information about how to construct a proper cover letter, how to construct a proper resume, how to network, how to follow up with interviews. And it's all in that booklet, and it can all be given to you for free as well. So if this is a concern of yours, that it's been so long since that you've had a job and haven't had to interview, which can be quite common, especially because of the virus. We saw a lot of people come in with just this issue. It's something you don't have to go through alone. You have professional support to make sure that you're going to land on your feet just fine. So, question: if a person coming in would have a caseworker right away, or is everyone just seeing whomever? Now, caseworkers are typically assigned if you receive financial assistance or any type of training assistance. You would receive a case manager. People who receive SNAP benefits can receive SNAP benefits without a case manager. Also, people who receive medical benefits can receive medical benefits without a case manager. And typically, when it comes to anything else a person needs from us, usually having to do with the job search, you can receive that assistance directly from just one of our connection staff members. And that really is their job. Their job really is to be that catch-all. They are trained to be able to handle many different scenarios, situations, and have an understanding and take that time to understand the situations of everyone who's coming in the door, so that they can guide them directly. Maybe someone who comes in the door, maybe they come in for SNAP, and this happens quite a bit. Maybe they just come in for SNAP benefits, but having a conversation with one of our connection staff members and letting that person have a better understanding of your full picture, they're able to direct you better into other programs that may require case management, or maybe it turns out you do need medical assistance. Maybe you do need training. Maybe you do need financial assistance, more so than unemployment. But that's the job of our connection team, to make sure that everyone who walks in the door is going to leave with everything they need. So right away, a person won't have a case manager. It all depends on what they apply for. But typically, everyone is pretty well served by one of our connection staff members.